a faraway town lived Rofia, a young lady who had a friend called Kofo. Kofo was married to Lawal, a very wealthy businessman, and together they had a son called Abdul. Lawal was a busy man, and so he didn't have time for his young family. Kofo complained to Rofia, her friend, about her husband's busy schedule and not being a present father to their child. And Rofia said, "You better thank God that you are under a man's roof. At least he spends so much on you, and that's all that matters. In fact, I can't understand why you keep complaining. You are living a comfortable life, and a lot of people want to be like you. Enjoy your husband's morning and stop complaining. Look at me. I am still very single. If I can get someone who is like your husband, trust me, I won't even complain, not for a second." Kofo had a second thought and agreed with her friend's sentiments. She enlisted all the good sides of her husband and how much he gives to her monthly, and promised never to complain again. When she left, Rofia said, "This my friend is enjoying, and she only came here to rub it on my face. See all the things her husband does for only her, and she chose to complain about the only one he's not doing right. Well, since no man around me is talking about marriage, and I am not getting any younger, becoming my friend's co-wife won't be bad at all. Those things she mentioned are just too much to be enjoyed by just one woman. I have to look for a way to sneak into that home and secure my position as the second wife of a well-known businessman. Since her mouth leaks like tap, I will get all the necessary information that I need from her. And once I am done, it will be like film trick for her eyes." The next day, she paid a visit to Kofo. And Kofo was surprised because Rofia had never visited without informing her. She welcomed her so well with expensive wine and healthy meals. And as someone who was on a mission, Rofia only saw the reason to facilitate her plan, just to have her own share from Lawal's wealth. She asked, "How is your husband?" And Kofo smiled and said, "That one, he has gone on a business trip again. He was supposed to return yesterday, but he didn't. And I know when he finally returns, he will come begging with either a gold earring or bracelets. Since you said I should stop complaining, I have decided to live with it like that and carry my cross." Rofia said to her, "Wait, my friend. Did I hear you mention gold earring or bracelets? As in pure gold?" Kofo smiled and said, You think I am joking? Hold on." She went in and brought out a box, opened it and said to her, "These are the ones he got from his previous trips. And I have told him that I already have enough and I should stop buying." But guess what he said? Rofia responded, "You know I'm not good at guessing. Please tell me." Kofo then said to her, "He said he wasn't just buying the jewelry just for me to look good as a rich man's wife, but that he also sees them as investments as a businessman." Rofia then interrupted and said, "Does that mean you can sell them off at any time?" Kofo answered, "Absolutely. I have even sold like 3. Rofia said, "My friend, you are so blessed, I must confess. And I am equally happy for you. Keep your husband, because men like him are hard to come by. And you know the street is not smiling. So enjoy him while it lasts. Just while they were still discussing, Lawa drove in and Kofo said, I won't go out to greet him because this was not our plan. I will sit back here just to let him know that I'm not happy with him. Rofia said to her, that's not a nice idea at all. Little care here and there matters because once he starts getting it outside, that's all. Oh. Kofo still insisted that she wasn't going out to greet him. So Rofia quickly grabbed the opportunity. She went out, knelt down, and greeted Lawa. Lawa, whose right hand was in the pocket, brought it out just to shake Rofia, and his business card fell off. That was like a miracle. Rofia picked it up and said, let me have this, sir. It has been destined for me to have your contact today. Lawa laughed over it and said it was fine. Rofia quickly hid it. Kofo was still comfortably seated unbothered, just waiting for her husband to come in. Lawa and Rofia walked in, and Kofo didn't utter a word, not even welcome. And Lawa turned to Rofia and said, you see your friend? That's how she behaves. I have told her that even if I offend her, that she should at least find out why before reacting. But she wouldn't hear. Please talk to your friend because I am already tired of this act. I had a very terrible trip because what I went for didn't click, and I should be able to meet a welcoming wife and not someone acting up. See the way you came out to greet me. I felt so good. Now imagine it coming from my wife. It would have been a stress-relieving pill. But this coconut head will never try that. Kofo interrupted and said, hey, I am not a coconut head and I will never be. You told me that you would be returning yesterday, but you didn't, and there was no plausible reason on why you did not. And now you expect me to come welcome you happily? Who does that? Oga, I don't know how to pretend. The earlier you change, the better for us. Lawa just shook his head and walked away. Rofia was so excited. All she has seen and heard were just more than enough to work with. She quickly told Kofo with a low voice, I love what you did. If you didn't act that way, he would have taken you for granted. See, he couldn't say much. He just went inside. Ha, my friend, take 5. Meanwhile, she called her Mumu in her mind. After a few minutes, she took her leave. And on her way home, she was so happy. She eulogized herself and said, this business card is the oga pata of all the things I achieved today. Since my friend is deficient in caring for her husband, I, Rofia, will fill in the gap. When she got home, she wanted to call, but something restricted her. She said, what if Kofo, my friend, sees my call coming in? This will automatically become a spoiler. Let me just wait and then do this tomorrow. After all, a killer plan like what I have is achieved on a very slow range. No rushing at all. One step at a time. She laughed out wickedly and said, Rofia, oh bad gan. That night, Lawa approached Kofo, his wife, for his conjugal rights, and she said to him that she wasn't in the mood at all and will not be throughout that week. All Lawa's plead was like rain falling on the rock. She left Lawa on and frustrated, and the next day he left the house earlier than usual. Rofia, who knew her friend has a leaking mouth, needed a vital information for the next line of action. So she called Kofo and said, "How are you doing, my friend?" Kofo answered, "I am doing fine, and thank you for coming around yesterday." Rofia said, "I should be the one thanking you for the hospitality and, most importantly, the Wife 101 lecture that I received freely yesterday from you." Kofo laughed from her end, and Rofia said, "I am serious, oh. I learned a new thing from you because I will get married someday. And that reminds me, did your husband apologize?" Kofo then said to her, "For where?" "He didn't, oh. He only came to meet me at night because he was horny." Rofia then said, Man, ordinary sorry he couldn't say." And Kofo said, "Trust me, I didn't grant him access. And this morning he left frustrated to his office." Rofia said, "I trust you, Iron Lady, my friend. He cannot mess up with you. Please, my dear, keep it up so that he won't take you for granted." "Well, I only called to appreciate you for yesterday. Thank you so much, my friend. And please make sure you take care of yourself for me." She hung up and said, "Yes, I have gotten what I needed. But this Kofo, she's really a telephone without wire. One button pressed like this, she has vomited 1,000 information freely. Well, I thank God for her. She will keep giving me the information that I need till I become her co-wife." Rofia continued talking to herself. "Now that I've gotten this information, that he left the house so early because his wife starved him of sex yesterday night, what should I do with this information?" She sat down to think, and within 5 minutes, she said, "Perfect!" And she hurriedly took some money from her bag and off to the market. She bought yam, efo, lots of dry fish and meat. She quickly returned home and prepared pounded yam and a foriro. She called Lawa and said, "I have been wanting to see you, sir. But what happened yesterday didn't allow us to talk before I left. Kindly permit me to see you in the office, sir, as I am already on my way. I am only calling because Kosi demands that I should." Lawa said to her, "You are very lucky that you did, because I was about stepping out for lunch, but I will wait for you." She thanked him and hung up. She said, "See lines. I am already on my way. Meanwhile, I still did my house." Rofia, oh bad gone. She quickly packed the food in her best warmer and then wore a pretty dress and a sweet-smelling fragrance and set out for Lawa's office. When she arrived, Lawa said to her, "You look so good and smell so nice." Rofia said, "Thank you so much, sir," and also appreciated him for waiting for her. She said to him, "When you said you were about stepping out for lunch, I smiled because I already prepared pounded yam and a foriro for you. I mean, there was no way I'll be coming to visit you in your office for the first time, empty, without anything at all. And for some reasons I can't even explain, I decided to prepare this sumptuous meal for you." She opened it and the irresistible aroma filled up the place. And Lawa said, "Rofia, you keep surprising me. Sincerely, I love what I'm seeing and I appreciate it so well. Rofia said, since you were about stepping out for lunch, let me quickly serve this. She washed her hands, served him, and Lawa ate the food and finished the food without remaining any crumb because he hasn't eaten since he arrived home the previous day. He thanked Rofia and wrote a check for her. Rofia, who was on a mission, knelt down and appreciated him, maintaining steeze and 100% respect. Lawa liked her composure, respect, and in fact everything about her, and said, you are just a decent and respectful young lady. Please keep at it and don't let anything change you. Rofia nodded, packed her things, and was about leaving when Lawa said to her, but you said you were coming to see me. I have only eaten and you were about leaving. And Rofia said to him, the check you gave to me has covered all I wanted to see you for. Thank you so much, sir. Lawa then said, if that is the case, take this, handing over one bundle of money to her. Rofia rejected it politely and said, please, sir, this is way too much. Please invest it back into your business. And she left. Lawa said, Rofia has proven to be better than my wife in every standard. I wish I met her before my wife. He quickly hit his head and said, man, be focused and don't get lost in thought. Rofia on her part was very excited like someone who won a lottery. She said, he enjoyed my meal. He didn't even say no. Omo, like this, this my plan will eventually click. It is just to follow up and boom, it will become a reality. But first, since I am beginning to get access to Lawa, I think I should start manipulating Kofo to push her husband to the wall, just so I can get full access to the man of my dreams. She said this smiling. Later that same day, she called Kofo and said, my friend, have you heard? Kofo said, heard what exactly? Rofia continued, rich man's wife, your caliber don't hear things like this now because you have no business with radio. And Kofo asked, are there still people who listen to radio? And Rofia responded, that is the main reason I am calling, because I know madam like you is not following up this program on radio. Anyways, people still listen to radio. At least I do. One woman just called the host of the program that is ongoing. She said her life is shattered and she doesn't know where and how to begin. Her husband of several years that she trusted so well impregnated another lady. And Kofo said, Kai, I pity the woman. Men will always stain your white. And Rofia said, that's not all, my friend. The woman said all the man's business trips were all lies, that he only used it as an escape route to go spend time with the other lady. Kofo then said to her, so what happened next? And Rofia responded, I couldn't even finish listening to it. As a friend who has you at heart, I just decided to call you straight up because your husband is always traveling. Please, my dear, open your eyes. Men cannot be trusted in any way. So I will advise, let him go for a medical checkup before you allow him touch you. I don't want you to be infected with any disease or infection and start making excessive demands so that you can build your own brand in case he decides to shock you tomorrow. Kofo was quiet for a minute, and Rofia said in her mind, if you like, keep mute there. I have sown the seed and I know it will germinate. And she hung up. Kofo said after Rofia was out of the phone, sitting at home as a full housewife answering Oga's wife isn't a good idea after all. Apart from polygamy, what if he dies? What will become of me and my son? Lawa has the money, and I'm not going to listen to Rofia. That lady is beginning to sound off as if I'm in a competition with her. I will only submit my proposal of starting a fabric business. And I know my husband too well. He won't reject it. In fact, he will dive into it with his full chest, as business has always been his turn on. Kofo quickly drafted a business plan and how she intends to start. And when she was done, she prepared a sumptuous meal and waited for her husband to return home. When Lawa returned, she welcomed him warmly and apologized for her ill behavior. Lawa, who has been waiting for her apology, hugged her and said, please, my dear wife, let's make this marriage work and let's settle whatever it is amicably between us. Let's not use our hand to scatter what we have built from the scratch. Kofo served him dinner, and when he was done eating, she submitted her business plan, and her husband jokingly asked, hope this wasn't the reason you apologized. Kofo, who didn't want any other argument to spring up, simply said no. Her husband looked at the plan and called it a brilliant idea. He added one or two things as an experienced businessman. And he said, I only have 25% of the capital of what I am seeing here. Let's see if we can get all by month's end. And Kofo asked him, how about selling some of the gold earrings and bracelets? And Lawa said, oh, I have even forgotten. Why not? In fact, I will sell them tomorrow because procrastination is a thief of time. I will love you to start by next month. I really love the plan. I love the business itself, and I wouldn't want any delay from any angle. Everything worked out as the plan, and Kofo started the business without mentioning it to Rofia, her friend. Rofia, for the second time, cooked another meal for Lawa and took it again to his office. Lawa ate it and appreciated her, but this time didn't give her anything. Kofo became so engaged as her business grew, and only then was Rofia aware. She was happy because she knew it was the right time to push her plan. Kofo on her part had little time for her husband and son, and so they had to enroll Abdul in a boarding school. One day, Lawa called Kofo his wife and said to her, I love the way your business expanded within a short period of time, and I sincerely love how you are diligent in it. But my dear, our marriage is suffering, and we are almost living like strangers. We barely discuss as husband and wife. We wake up as early as possible, and off we go and return at night. And this has become our daily routine. Please get a sales girl so that you can only go out and inspect. You know, boarding school is something I've always despised because of its negative effects on children. I am beginning to feel uncomfortable leaving our son there. He still needs to be under our care and tutelage. Making money is good, But making money and having one's family living together in love is better. Kofo then said to her husband, "You have simply stated nothing but the facts. But sincerely, I can't do any of all that you have suggested. Getting a sales girl that will be loyal and truthful in this age is almost like an impossible mission. Maybe towards the end of the year, Adu would have returned home. We will all go for vacation, let's say for 1 week, and bond again. I think that should be enough." Lawa said to her, "I just hope you know what you are doing." Rofia on her part became angry with herself. She said, "This thing is taking longer time than I expected. The gate is widely open for me to walk in freely, but I'm just here with no tangible results apart from the fact that he has eaten my food." Rofia, think and act fast. This man has money and you need to be one of his beneficiaries, not all these peanuts you collect after he has eaten your food. And the last time, he didn't even give you anything. Rofia, think and act fast. She decided to pay Kofo a visit in her shop. Kofo said to her, "My friend, you didn't tell me that you were coming." And Rofia said, "It's been a long while, and as a friend, I came to check up on you, just to be sure you are fine, because we have never stayed this long without seeing each other." "You are right," Kofo said. "That's because as we grow, we begin to think differently. And as you can see, I am now a very busy person, and I have zero time for unproductive discussions." So Kofo, you are indirectly calling me a jobless person?" Rofia asked. And Kofo said to her, "I didn't though. But if that's how you interpreted it to be, then it shows you need a job, true, or at least a business." "No wahala," Rofia said. "I have heard you and I promise to get a job. But how is your husband? And it's been so long that I saw Abdul, your son. Where is he? And the last time I told you about that lady on the radio program, you didn't bother getting back to me again. Has your husband gone for the test? Hope you haven't started granting him access. I mean, this is so unlike you. You would have kept me updated." And Kofo said to her, "Rofia, why are you so intentional about my husband? Why are you so interested in my home? Did you keep anything that you are grooming in my house? Come out plain and stop hiding under the umbrella of a friend. You think I don't know you take food to my husband in his office?" Rofia was shocked and she became uncomfortable. Kofo said to her, "Come on now, don't be shocked. I have eyes in that place telling me about all your illicit movements. Just keep at it. But one message I have for you today is that even if you succeed in your plan, your end will be nothing short of shame and regrets." Rofia felt the ground should just open up itself, but that was not going to happen. So she quickly took her leave and vowed never to return to Kofo's shop again. When she got home, she said, "Hey, I chop disgrace today, no be small. Since Kofo already knows about my plan, then I have to be fast about it. After all the men that comes around me only have fun with me with just a little amount of money, and no one had even said anything about marriage. that Kofo gave me a basket load of insults today, and I will make her lick her words. It is time to go spiritual. The next time Lawa will set his eyes on me, I promise he will become a finished lover boy. Rofia met an Afa who gave her a love-charmed soap to bathe with. And that was how she got Lawa on bed. She became pregnant and packed into her friend's house. Kofo and Rofia, who were once close friends, became enemies. Rofia will always want to pick up a fight with Kofo. And Kofo will say to her, "You came into this house through the window, and that makes you nothing but a thief. I can only assure you that the way you came in will be the same way you will leave." This statement made Rofia say to Lawa, "Please, I want to join you daily to your office so I can learn how your business works and keep it running when you are not around." Lawa, who was under a spell, didn't hesitate in saying yes. In fact, Rofia became his priority, and he lived as if Kofo wasn't existing. Kofo, who knows her husband so well and how much he cared for her, knew something wasn't right. She said, "This sudden love my husband has for Rofia is questionable, and the Rofia that I know wouldn't mind crossing 7 oceans just to make this happen. Well, I blame myself for whatever that is happening in this home. I take full responsibility of it, and that's why I must correct this mess, no matter the years it will take." Rofia was 9 months gone, and Lawa began to maltreat Kofo so badly, and Kofo couldn't take it anymore. She decided to lock her shop for some time and re-strategize on how to win her husband back. So when Rofia and Lawa went to the office, she searched Rofia's room just to be sure she didn't come into her home with anything. The first day, she didn't find anything suspicious. The second day, she continued the search and found nothing as well. But on the third day, she found a black soap in the bathroom. She wanted to throw it away, but on a second thought, she said, "What if this soap is what is making my husband love Rofia so well? Let me bathe with it to see what will happen." She bathed with it and flushed it immediately. She dressed looking so ravishingly beautiful, waiting for the both of them to return. When Rofia and Lawa entered into the house, Lawa pushed Rofia away. Immediately, he sighted Kofo, his wife. And Rofia was wondering what happened, because this was not the negotiation she had with the Afa.